Madam President, I was just saying to the senator from Utah, who is a dear friend and the ranking Republican on the Finance Committee, that something magical happened here about 48 hours ago, right here in this chamber. And what happened is we saw the Senate of old, and in a very good way. We saw senators bringing amendments to the floor, Democrat and Republican. We saw them having a chance to offer their amendments, debate their amendments, and get votes on their amendments. And it was not on an unimportant issue. The issue is how we're going to provide and fund the transportation system for our country. That includes roads, highways, bridges, tunnels, transit systems, and more. At the end of the day, 79 senators, Democrat and Republican, a majority of Republicans and Democrats, voted to say we'd like to make sure we don't run out of money in the Federal Transportation Trust Fund this year. We're going to replenish that trust fund, but not for a year or year and a half, but for a relatively short period of time, till the end of the year, really to the end of December. And why would we stop there? Is because we believe that if we keep on going, say, for example, one of the proposals coming over from the House is that let's fund the transportation program until maybe next May, next June. Our fear, and the fear of 79 senators who voted, I think with their conscience, our fear is we'll get to next May 31st and say, well, we can't make these votes. This is too tough for us to figure out how to fund a 6-year transportation program for our country. Let's just cobble together enough revenues from disparate sources that have nothing to do with transportation. Do what my friend Bob Corker, senator from Tennessee, calls generational theft, and steal 10 years of revenues that use that to fund road programs, road, highway, bridges programs for 3 or 4, 5 months. That's what we've been doing for the last 5 years. We've done it 11 times. And what we've done is we've said to governors and state departments of transportation and others that are trying to build roads, highway, bridges, and transit systems, we're going to give you a little bit of money, and you can count on it for a couple of months, and then it runs out, and we'll try to do some more. Stop and go. It's hugely inefficient, hugely inefficient. I speak as an old governor, not that old, but as a former governor, recovering governor, and I have some idea of all the work that you do putting into these projects. You know, just to take, for example, you're planning a road, highway, bridge, or transit system. You have to plan the project. You have to fund the project. You have to contract for the project. You have to get permits for the project. It takes years. And if we're providing, will we have the revenues or won't we? Will the federal government be there as a partner or not? It's just wasteful to the kind of system that we have, or at least the kind of system we've shown in recent years. So a bunch of us saying, why don't we do our job? Democrats and Republicans, 78 say, why don't we do our job and fully fund a 6-year transportation program for our country? And for the most part, for myself, and I think for many, why don't we stop using these sources of revenue that have absolutely nothing to do with transportation? Well, why don't we just stop taking money from the general fund, which just borrows money from China and all kinds of other places around the world? Why don't we just fund it ourselves? If things are worth having, we ought to pay for them. Well, last Tuesday night, two nights ago, the Senate worked, and it was a joy to behold. At the end of the day, we passed and sent over to the House of Representatives legislation that said, we're going to not let the Transportation Trust Fund run out of money this year. We're not going to kick the can too far down the road. We want to keep us on a short leash and make sure that when we come back after the election, they will be likely to actually fund a 6-year transportation program. A smart approach, a principled approach. I just want to say a big thank you to a couple of people. I want to say to Senator Bob Corker, Republican from Tennessee, Senator Barbara Boxer, Democrat from California, who chairs the Environment and Public Works Committee, on which I serve as the chairman of the Transportation and Infrastructure Subcommittee. I just want to say thank you for your leadership. Thank you for standing up for doing the right thing. Andrew Jackson used to say, one man with courage makes a majority. Mrs. Jackson, I like to say, said, one woman with courage makes a majority. But in this case, we had a courageous Republican from Tennessee and a courageous Democrat from California, and they let me draft. We said, in NASCAR, we said we draft on him, but they let me draft with them. And 3 of us put together this proposal. We worked with Senator Ron Wyden, who chairs the Finance Committee. We appreciate very much his support for our proposal as well. And at the end of the day, 79 senators said that's the right thing to do. Goes over to the House. The House, to my disappointment, not to my surprise, but to my disappointment said, no, we're going to strip off what the Senate has done in a bipartisan way, and we're just going to go back to what they said to us some time ago, which I must say is not likely to get a 6-year transportation program funded anytime soon. Not this year, probably not for any time soon. They've sent that to us. But there's good news here. There's good news here. 79 senators, again, over half the Republicans, almost all the Democrats, have said, we want to do our job. We want to do it this year. We want a fully funded transportation plan for the next 6 years. That's what the people want us to do. State and local governments want us to do. Mayors, governors want us to do. People that work and build roads, highways, bridges, transit systems, that's what they want us to do. Contractors, the business community, labor unions, that's what they want us to do. Do our job. And we're prepared to do it. The good news out of all this is 79 of us are prepared to do that, and I suspect some others who may have voted the other way Tuesday night are prepared to as well. I want to say not only thanks to Bob Corker and Barbara Boxer and Ron Wyden and others who are part of this vote of 79 senators and the leadership they provided. I want to say to my friend Orrin Hatch, who I love and love working with, and pleased to serve with him on the Finance Committee. I've admired him forever. When we come back into session after the election, the lame duck session, my hope and prayer is that we'll all be able to work together and get this job done. And I know him, and I think he is he's the kind of person who will help make it get done. Let me just close with this thought, if I could, and then I'll yield to the senator from Utah. To my pleasure, not to my surprise, but really to my pleasure, one of the things that happened during the last several weeks and months is a coalition, broad-based coalition, business, labor, state and local governments, all kinds of organizations and people came together and said, do the right thing. They told us, do the right thing. And they have been terrific supporters in encouraging our colleagues, Democrat and Republican, to join in with Senators Corker and Boxer, Wyden, and myself to do what we did Tuesday night. That coalition is not going away. They're not going away. They worked the House of Representatives really hard the last 2 days, the last 48 hours, and they're not going away. When we come back here after the election, they'll come back strong, and we will too. We're not going to go away on this issue. One of the most important things we do as senators and representatives and all is to provide a transportation system that is worthy of this country, that helps with the movement of people and goods that we need to be in a strong and efficient economy and nation. I'll close with the words of Mark Twain. I used them the other night, and Senator Hatch has heard these words before, but the words of Mark Twain all those years ago, who once said, when in doubt, as to what to do, when in doubt, do what's right. You will confound your enemies and astound your friends. 79 of us the other night did what we thought was right, what I'm sure was right. And we're going to come back in a couple of months, and we'll have a chance to join, get our colleagues to join us, and really, as a whole body, hopefully with the House of Representatives and with the administrative president too, do our job and make sure that we have the roads, highways, bridges, and transit systems that we need in this country. Again, my thanks to the senator from Utah for letting me ramble on here a bit, and just to express once again my affection and admiration for him, and looking forward to working with him, not just on this issue, but a whole bunch of others in the years to come. With that, I yield the floor, Madam President.